Hey there, so you're thinking about buying a home here in Utah. Maybe you're thinking about relocating here. Well, today I'm going to be sharing with you some of the top mistakes that people make when either relocating here and jumping into purchasing a home. And really, by knowing some of these things to avoid, it could save you a ton of time and a ton of money if you're able to follow these steps. I know personally, when we made the move here to Utah, we went through a lot of these different things, and I definitely know that it saved us a lot of time and a lot of money, and I want to do the same for you, and we're going to hop into it right now. Mariah here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if this is your very first time here. I'm a licensed and active real estate agent here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and this channel is literally everything you need to know about eating, working, playing, sleeping, and living in the Salt Lake City, Utah area. If that's of interest to you, consider subscribing down below and make sure you tap that bell for notifications so you are notified every week we drop a new video. We hear from people like you all the time who are looking to make a move, looking to relocate, or looking to buy or sell a property here in Utah, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about making a move in a week, in a month, or even a year from now, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and it would be our absolute pleasure to connect with you. I want to save a lot of time and a lot of money by avoiding some mistakes. I know I sure do, and I know personally, my husband and I have learned a lot over the years from buying and selling different properties ourselves. So number one, first and foremost, if you are thinking about making a move out here to Salt Lake City, one of the biggest things I always tell people, if you are thinking about purchasing a home, come take a look at some of these neighborhoods. Come take a look at the different areas. Come and really tour around. You will save yourself a lot of time and a lot of heartache later on just by knowing the areas. So you can watch all the different videos on different areas and different places, but really coming and taking a look is one of the best things. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Oftentimes when I have people that reach out and they're saying, hey, Mariah, we're super excited. We just got a job here, or, we're just feeling that pull to Utah. I totally get it. My husband and I, it wasn't that many years ago that we moved from California, from Southern California here to the Salt Lake area. And I remember we were doing tons of research online. We were looking at videos. We were, anything that we can get our hands on, we were deep diving into it. So the research phase is definitely so important, but the most important is coming and taking a look around. So we we found a bunch of homes that we were really interested in, but we really didn't know a lot of the areas. We had been out here to Utah several times for work and for play and for school and all of that, but actually coming and touring areas, touring cities, touring neighborhoods is a huge one, because what will end up happening is you will get a sense of the area. You'll get a sense of, hey, you know what? I love being really close to the mountains. Or, you know what? I would rather be a little bit closer to shopping, but not so close to the mountains. Or, hey, you know what? I actually really want to be closer to the airport. Or, having a school for my kids, walking distance is really important. Or whatever it is that's important to you, just getting a sense of that is number one. So once you have kind of an idea of where you really would like to be located, number two is meeting with a lender and getting pre-approved. Yes, figuring out your lending situation, figuring out what your mortgage situation is going to be like. If you know that you need to sell a property before you are able to purchase a property here, you're going to want to get that kind of lined up. If you don't have a lender here, I work with tons of great mortgage lenders here in Utah that can literally get you squared away. But having an idea of the location that you would like to be in, and then figuring out really what you qualify for, is going to be a big one, because this is what ends up happening. Sometimes people find an area that they fall in love with and they're like, oh, this is it. This is the area that we want to be in. But then they start looking at different houses and they get so excited about that, but they don't know what the actual, their finance piece will look like. So you really want to have your finances in order, because especially with interest rates changing, like you and I know, it is, we're not seeing those 2% interest rates like we were seeing before. We're seeing right now more 6.5s and a little higher and then a little bit lower. It fluctuates. And also depending on your profession. I work with a lot of people in a lot of different professions. There are some professions where you are going to be able to get a lock in at a lower rate, simply because maybe you're a physician, maybe you are able to get a VA loan, maybe you are able, depending on what your situation is, you will be able to lock in at a lower rate, which may mean you are able to qualify for a little bit more depending on what your situation is like. So figuring out a general area of where you want to be. Next, figuring out that finance piece is a big one. And really figuring out that finance piece is a big one, because it's going to save you a ton of time in the long run, because you're not going to be looking at properties that you can't afford. So neighborhood and finances, two huge ones. Number three is, once you find the home that you are, wanting to put an offer on, once you put the offer on and you make, that offer gets accepted, please, I highly, highly, highly recommend a home inspection. It will cost you a little something, but that investment later on, like I said, we want to save you time, we want to save you money. That home inspection can save you oodles and oodles and oodles of dollars, and it can also save you a ton of time. From the exterior, from pictures, the house can look amazing, but once you have a licensed home inspector go through, take a look around the home, figure out the ins and outs of it, it might give you a better picture of, yep, you know what, this is exactly what we thought, let's roll forward. Or, oh my goodness, I had no idea that the hot water heater and this and that, the stucco, all the different things with the home, the whatever it is that may not be, that may, you might end up having to drop thousands of dollars into it. That might not be the right home for you. So you've got the neighborhood, you've got the finances, and that next piece is really, once you start, through that process and you find the home that you're looking for, really getting that home inspection. I always, always, always recommend that to my clients. And even though sometimes people will be like, hey, you know what? It checks all these boxes and it's in the neighborhood, it's the price is right, we just want the house. I say, great. I still would recommend you get that home inspection. Another important one that sometimes people overlook is really thinking about the future. Oftentimes when people are buying a home, they're thinking, okay, great, this is my forever home, I'm going to be here forever. But I always recommend considering that future possibility of reselling that home. And this is why I think this is a big consideration when you are purchasing. I know a lot of times people, when they're thinking, okay, you know what, it checks all the boxes right now, but later on, if somebody else was wanting to purchase that home, is it in an area that, the resale will be good? Is it, too close to this or not close enough to this? So really the proximity of that property is something that you want to consider for future resale. And I always say this, here in Utah, right outside of Salt Lake, there was a prison that has actually been taken down, but there used to be a bunch of homes that were kind of close to it. And for many people, obviously, that was a major drawback of, hey, you know what? I found this great home, but it kind of overlooks this prison area, right? And so I don't want to, for some people, they're like, you know what? I'm actually okay with this. But for a lot of people, they're going to say, yeah, you know what? Great home. I want to find a location that's a little bit not right there. Or, hey, the location is on a super, super busy street. The price is right. The neighborhood is close by, to what I'm looking for. But because of the busy the busy street, it could be a deterrent for future resale. So really just something to consider, because honestly, if you lock in on that home right now, I know you're probably not thinking about selling it for another 2, 5, 10, 15 years from now. But if you do, looking and considering that resale possibility can actually save you a lot of money, down the road. So something to consider with that. And also something I always say, if you are not working with a licensed real estate professional, as a buyer, it literally costs you generally nothing. Most real estate agents on the buyer side are, not going to be charging for their services because they are paid for through the sale. Usually, typically the listing, the seller of the home, they are going to be paying the commissions for not only the sell, but also for the buyer side. So I always say, if you find a buyer's agent that you want to work with, reach out to them. 9 times out of 10, they are going to be happy to help you, or if they're not, they are able to recommend you to somebody that can help you. So that real estate agent should be your boots on the ground. They should be able to help you navigate the neighborhoods. If they can't help you navigate the neighborhoods, then hopefully they know somebody that can, or again, can refer you to somebody that really knows the areas. So hopefully this gives you an idea if you are thinking about, because honestly, I know when we moved out here, like I said, we were looking at pictures, we were looking at all sorts of things, but there were some homes that we were looking at, we didn't realize the location. We didn't realize that something was on a busy street. We didn't realize that maybe, you've got something in your backyard that the fence is connected to something that you may not want there, right? So it really just depends. So I always say, come take a look, take a peek at the neighborhood, tell your real estate agent what you're looking for. Get that finance piece in line with your lender, your mortgage broker. If you don't have one, reach out to me, reach out to my team. We help people and we work with preferred lenders all the time. Once you find the home that you've made an offer on that you're excited about, I highly recommend getting that home inspection. It can save you tons of time, tons of heartache, and tons of money in the long run by knowing some things up front. Considering the resale value of your home, even if you're not thinking about selling it today, tomorrow, a year, even 5 years from now, but down the line, consider, just take into consideration that future resale. And again, working with a licensed real estate professional can really save you a lot of time, a lot of heartache, a lot of money. So if you are thinking about making a move out here to the Salt Lake City, Utah area, my team and I work with people like you all the time, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about making a move in a week, in a month, or even a year from now, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and it would be our absolute pleasure to connect with you. Take care and have a great one. Bye.